All right, let's say the motion was this House would widely adopt citizen enforcement, where citizen enforcement is defined as policies that encourage ordinary members of the public to photograph and submit evidence of unlawful behavior. For example, a citizen that produces evidence of a parking violation might be given a small cut of the resulting fine. Of course, it's quite easy to be bogged down by the policy of instituting citizen enforcement, and that's alright. I think that's a good habit to have. You should debate whether or not this is likely going to be an effective replacement to over policing, whether or not this is going to be done in a good or bad way, and whether we can trust citizens at all to be able to do this with adequate incentives instead of abusing this more often than not. But in my opinion, this is one of those motions where it is quite critical to explain why we are doing this in the first place. Because even those earlier pragmatic issues can be bogged so much by simply saying, oh, prison is just bad, so we shouldn't send more people into prison. Or, oh, citizen enforcement is going to cause a lot of distrust among neighbors in the community when a few people become overly tedious with the way that they would report others, and so on and so forth. In these situations, my recommendation is consider running a principled argument that the state must acknowledge a right to citizen driven justice because they most viscerally know the risks and dangers of being in a society or being part of their own community. They walk the streets, they see what their community life is like, they actively participate and are on the front lines every single day. To deny them the opportunity to facilitate the justice process in this particular way is to say that they must entrust justice to a third party that may not necessarily always be present nor represent their interests all the time. And so this policy is necessary because no matter what police will do in their world, the entire premise of the entire justice system is that it is constructed by people's lived realities of the world and the aspirations for a more just world. So it is only right that we ought to defer to them when we allow them to report and investigate these instances of crime too. Notice that this principle, which originally, as you notice, might be used for an argument about vigilantism or an argument about the abolition of the police, can be precisely nuanced to this particular policy as well by fixating on why investigation and inquiry is a necessary process in the justice seeking process. Furthermore, this argument can be positioned well to be what we call in debate to be outcome independent, because it doesn't depend on a particular characterization or an outcome in the opening half. It doesn't depend, for example, in this debate on over policing or under policing, which another opening half might get bogged down on in the weeds of the issue. So instead, because you are running a principle, it focuses on why power must be distributed to individuals because it's their democratic right to do so under this justice system. And that's how I think you should run principles for policy debates. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.